All right, welcome back to another episode of the Crease Dive. Today is Monday, May 6th. Why not? On the fly, I was just like, let's put it out today. Why not right away? Um, Today's Monday, May 6th. We are joined by Adam Lamberti. He's going to talk to us a little bit about the PLL Draft, a little PLL Draft preview for you folks. We are also joined, as always, Intern Nest. First, Adam, how's it going?
Good. How you guys doing?
Not bad, dude. We had a live reaction show last night, which was pretty fun for the college side of things, where we're talking about a few of the future PLL prospects. Nest, how you doing after that long night last night?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I mean, felt good to get a little live action in there, interact with the chat a little bit. I thought it went well, so happy to be right back getting after it and shift the focus a little bit to the PLL draft. So I think it'll be a good one. Can't complain.
Yeah, it's always like one of my favorite times of the year because like just as much as it's ramping up in college, you got the PLL draft. Then right after college, you got the PLL season, which like at this point, I'm a full-on fledged PLL guy. I love the continuity with the players. I love the change up, the drama. So yeah, the draft is one of my favorite nights of the year. But before we talk about the draft, I would be remiss not to talk about the lives of Callum, Jake Robinson, and Jack Carter Road, who were just enjoying a surfing trip in Ensenada going from San Diego down the Mexico coastline, and they were murdered. And, a fun trip that was supposed to be filled with like a lifetime of memories was cut short by tragedy. There's a GoFundMe out there for the Robinson family that you can go donate to. You can check on my Twitter. I'll put out the link hopefully in the description. But donate if you can, help out their family. They're going through a really tough time. And if anything comes out with Jack Carter Road and what his family's doing, I'll be sure to also inform you on what you can do for his friends and family. But my thoughts and prayers go out to both the Robinson and the Carter Road family. It's tough to even talk about. I mean, personally, like quick story. First, you hear all the stories from the PLL guys about how good of a guy Callum was. When I started getting into the PLL in 2019, Callum, first weekend I was shitting my pants. Bill Belichick's there. Didn't really feel like I was belonging. I had like imposter syndrome sitting on the sidelines. Callum was one of my first interviews. Like bright smile, made me feel at home, made me feel welcome in the league when I really felt out of place. So I always appreciated Callum from afar, making him feel welcomed on the first weekend. I get to appreciate a little bit more now, but seeing all the stories flood the timelines and everyone sharing a common thought that there's no better guy out there than Callum Robinson. Great lacrosse player, better person. So thoughts and prayers out to his family, and may they rest in peace. Any other thoughts from you guys if you want, but if not,
Yeah, just quick note as a D3 guy, he was a Stevenson guy, and my brother actually he was a Stevenson guy back in the day, and he used to pump my brother and Widener, and I used to watch him play, and never had the honor to meet him, one on one, but just seeing the way he played the game and everything that everyone has to say about him, he's seemed like a really special guy. Absolutely, just gut wrenching story, and hopefully the families can get the support they need, and hopefully it won't be the end of his legacy. And just a real sad story. So he definitely did his damage in the D3 world, and that's why he was playing in the big league. So rest in peace.
Yeah, and it's tough to segue off that to then be like, all right, now let's talk lacrosse. But unfortunately, we're in the entertainment business, and it's an unfortunate segue. There's no good way to segue after a tragedy like that. But Adam, thank you for joining the show. We're here to talk PLL draft. We're here to talk a PLL draft preview. So let's just jump right into things. Everybody wants to know. Everyone's calling this the best draft ever. In your years of covering the PLL big boards drafts, is this the best draft in your opinion?
Yeah, I would 100% say so because obviously you got the top end talent. You got O'Neill, Kavanaugh, Schellenberger, Entenmann, like all the guys that everyone's saying could be some of the best players at their positions as soon as they step on the field. But then also like you think about it because of the extra year of COVID eligibility, you got all the graduate students coming out now, but then you also have the sort of like true seniors that started in 2021. Yep. They're coming out now as well too. So it's like the combination of that top end talent. It's it's a deep draft and a good one.
Yeah, so everybody wants to know the Outlaws have the number 1 pick. Everyone's kind of talking. Shelley, O'Neal, the argument's been there, not just like this week, not just this month, not just this year. This has been going on since 2021, I want to say. Everyone was waiting for this draft, this class, who would go number 1. You tell me right now, with the number 1 pick in the PLL draft, the Denver Outlaws select.
If I'm the Outlaws, I'm taking O'Neal. I mean, it's been said like Schellenberger's probably a better fit with what they have with Wisnauskas and the midfield group and getting the most out of Wisnauskas on the left. But I think you just bet on O'Neal's talent. Like, even if you think about just like the World Games too, like he was probably the best player on the field against Canada, and just like we already saw what he's able to do. Obviously, I love Schellenberger too, love Kavanaugh too. I think he maybe could be an outside sneaky chance for top pick, but I'm just betting on O'Neal's talent and what we've already seen with him playing against professional players.
Yeah, so what you're saying, from what I understand, you're basically saying he's the best prospect. Like O'Neal's like kind of a can't miss prospect. Schellenberger could be the better fit, but don't count out Kavanaugh. I agree with you for the most part. O'Neal did it in the World Games. I also want to say, yeah, he did it against Canada, which I think solidifies it. I hate to be that guy, like grow the game, but like when you do it against Australia and you're Brendan O'Neal, like you should do it against Australia. Like you should do it against Japan. Like you are going to be a pro like the next year. So it didn't like necessarily shock me, but I do think fit-wise, it just doesn't make sense for them to get Brennan, which makes me think, do you think there's any possibility that they get Brennan, they run him out of the midfield, they maybe trade Wisnauskas? Do you think there's any possibility of that?
There's definitely a possibility. I wouldn't rule it out. Everyone's been saying Brennan should be a midfielder after the performance against Team Canada, where he was on a midfield line with Sowers and Schreiber. And I think 4 of his 5 goals were just lefty down the alley in that specific game. I think he's too talented of a player. I think he needs to be on the field at all times. I also think too, like if you think about, the kind of like the revolving door of like PLL players, like the Outlaws could look completely different in, a year, 2 years. So that's why I say bet on the talent, figure out, the best fit with Wisnauskas after that and all the other players. So that's my stance on that.
That's not a bad rebuttal at all. I won't argue with you on that. Nest, do you think that it's O'Neal number 1, or who do you got?
I mean, I agree with everything, you're both saying here. I think the hard part is Schellenberger can bring a little bit more as far as like what the team needs. I think that's what we're all saying with that he's a better fit. But then Adam brings up such a good point. Like, you're only dressing 19 guys a week. Who knows in 2 years what that roster is going to look like? You might not need Schellenberger back there to make those guys better. You might need a guy like Brendan O'Neal who can go out and just take over the offense. I think it's so hard because they're both so good, but kind of like so different at the same time. One is just a physical specimen, and the other is like a lacrosse. I like to call him a lacrosse junkie. He can just do everything. Everything you need on a lacrosse field, Schellenberger can do. Whereas Brendan O'Neal, there's little he can't do besides I think he could be a better feeder. Draw the slide, move the rock around, maybe start the offense a little more. But we've seen him at his best, and his best is crazy. So I don't know. I think I'm in the same boat where, like, if I'm the Outlaws, I think I'm probably taking O'Neal. But it's definitely not like I don't think it's as clear cut as it once was by any means. I think that's where I'm at. Is that gap's gotten smaller, in my opinion.
I have been on the Shelley is better train since maybe 2021 when they went on that run, beating Maryland in the championship in Hartford. I have said that if I was a GM, I'd draft Shelley right then and there. I think that this year's kind of proved that. Brennan has taken a step back. I think that he is probably the number 1 prospect, rightfully so. He's like the LeBron James of lacrosse careers. You hear that all the time. But let me tell you about one guy And Adam, you kind of alluded to it. I think that if there's one sicko GM that's like, you know what, fuck it, I need an ex-attackman. I want somebody that is a winner, like gritty as fuck. And this is no joke. Pseudo will do something. Nobody thought that he'd take Wisnauskas number one. If anybody's going to go outside the box and just draft a guy that he fucking wants and not because he's told to watch, it's Pat Cavanaugh. Pat Cavanaugh, do not be surprised if he's the number one pick in the PLL draft. Adam, do you think that's a crazy stance that I'm taking?
I mean, it's not insane. Also, like that just speaks to like how like good this draft is. Like maybe 3 guys we're talking about for the number 1 overall pick. I don't think it's crazy at all. I mean, you've seen obviously Kavanaugh's been doing it since 2021 along with O'Neal Schellenberger, right. But like I think even as of late, like not just Kavanaugh, that whole Notre Dame team has just turned it on. Like it's definitely crazy, but it's not like out of the world crazy. And also
not that crazy.
It's not that crazy. It's maybe like 2 weeks ago it was crazy, but now it's not. And yeah, I think it's gonna be super exciting.
I also saw something that Pseudo had like 3 players to watch this weekend. Kavanaugh was one of them, and like the type of player it's look, any I'm gonna say normal, any level-headed GM wouldn't take like Pseudo will just draft the guy that he wants, and he's like a Rochester guy. I'm pretty sure he's like a Rochester guy. He has this type of player that he wants to bring into the locker room, and I think Kavanaugh kind of fits those pieces. And look, I think Cav is going to be a hell of a pro. I don't think that any 3 of these you really will like lose sleep over picking. I do think that if there's one GM in this league that could go outside the box and be like, fuck you, I'm just going to pick who I want to, it's Pseudo, and I don't think that you can really count out Pat Cav. So that'll be my hot take that I'm bringing to you guys, is that I think that Pseudo, when it's all said and done, he's taking Pat motherfucking Cavanaugh. That's my take. Official lock-it-in prediction. Pat Cavanaugh will be the number 1 pick in the PLL draft. And I really believe it. I think that he's going to bring grit. He's going to bring winning culture. He's going to bring like the ex-attackman that they need. He's creative. He's a feeder. I think that Pseudo is going to lock him in as the number 1 draft pick.
Well,
and then when you get
Doogs, I respect your take. Then we're going to have to dive a little deeper. And then who do you think is going to go 2?
That's exactly where we're going to go. Thank you, Nestler. Number 2 is where it gets interesting, right? So you got, I mean, this is, mock drafts, like then I'd have to go down, but like, let's just go number 2. What does the Atlas need? What do they need this offseason? Adam, you take it away.
The Atlas, I mean, if they'd probably take Shelley. Like if what you're saying shook out and Shelley went 2 to the Atlas, because you think about that attack, you got Jeff Teat, obviously. You got Schellenberger's former teammate at Virginia, Xander Dixon, on that team too. Obviously, they traded Chris Gray away, so Schellenberger is a seamless fit into his spot. I mean, I wouldn't rule out they take Shelley or O'Neal either, because it's Brendan O'Neal,
Yeah,
But
you didn't even expect it.
I feel like the league, like if O'Neal ended up to the Whipsnakes at 3, everyone would be like how do we let this happen? Because remember, like earlier in the PLL season when like the Whipsnakes weren't doing that well, I think they were like last for a little bit, and then everyone's like okay, yeah, like the Whipsnakes, like somehow like this is the one bad season they have, and you end up with Brendan O'Neal if you're the number 1 pick. So
yeah.
It'd be wild. It's kind of wild though. Like it really could be a number of combinations though at 2 and 3. I think the Atlas would take Schellenberger or Cavanaugh, just because it's a better fit. Like we're saying, like those guys are ex-attackmen. You want Brendan O'Neal on the left wing, and obviously with the Atlas, Jeff Teat's there. So
yeah. I mean, could you imagine though, like Brendan O'Neal? Like again, if you talk about just talent, if you imagine Jeff Teat and Brendan O'Neal on the same attack line.
I mean, that's just ridiculous.
It's like that's like just pure names and just like draw to attention. It's just like holy shit. And then like really, it's just like, how the hell aren't you winning if you're the Atlas? Like everybody kept talking about them the past couple of years. Like Gray, you got Costabile, you got like that like formidable like because they came in, I think, to that season with Teat, and everyone's like, oh, they're going to be unstoppable. So definitely definitely intrigued with what the Atlas are doing. And obviously, somehow, like we don't even need the whip stakes. Let's go into the whip stakes. What they need. Let's just get right into it. One of my favorite topics: LSMs. Obviously, Earhart retires. They need an LSM. They might not get it with the third pick. You know, it's probably going to go 1, 2, 3 in some order: Kavanaugh, Schellenberger, Brennan. But if you're the whip stakes and you need an LSM, who's the guy that they should be looking for?
Whips. So the thing with the whips is tough because they traded their second round pick for it was the trade at the end of last season for Jackson Morrill when they kind of needed that X guy. In my mock drafts, I've been saying, you take Kavanaugh at 3 if you're the whips, assuming he's the third of the attackman taken. And then I think Pacino is going to be gone by 17, where the whips pick. I'm interested to see how high Pacino goes, especially with the Archers trading away Jared Connors for 13 overall, I believe. So I think the Archers are going to probably target Pacino at 8. I think he could go as high as, I don't know if the Whipsnakes would pick him at 3. I wouldn't, just because you have Pat Cavanaugh sitting there. But like any pick after that, it's who really knows. So he's a really exciting prospect. Obviously plays everywhere on the field, and like the more you watch him, just the more you realize how much he really can do on the field. Like, yeah, he scores goals, he picks up ground balls, but he's directing his teammates defensively. And I think some other guys two more guys to look out for if I'm the Whips. Sorry, no, I'm just kind of rambling, but
no, I love it.
I really like Mason Woodward from Marquette. He's been playing down low this year, but if you watch the games that he's been playing, and he's just an absolute vacuum off the ground. And then someone who had a big weekend was Roy Meyer. I know that's your guy. He's from Boston University. He had a huge weekend. He's been, one of the best LSMs for a few years now. So I think one of those two guys for the Whipsnakes at 17 would be awesome.
Now, let me tell you my take on this. Is I agree with you. The Whipsnakes, I think, and they won't get Pacino. And that'll be a blessing in disguise for them because they will get the best LSM in the draft, which I think is Roy Meyer. Pacino, look, I don't want to be like talk shit about a kid that hasn't even stepped a foot in the league because he's obviously a talent and a half.
It sounds like
the best. He's the best. No, he's the best. He's the best LSM. He's the best LSM in transition. He's legit can cause havoc in the middle of the field. But man, I think he relies on that over the head check way too much. And I think he's the perfect Instagram fucking highlight player that'll get like shine for like scoring a goal. Like when you talk about an actual cover, like can he lock down your best midfielder? I'm going fuck no, he can't. And that's not the best LSM in the draft for me. I think he's like you see him on like IG. He's got like the fucking TikTok views, the Reels views. But man, when it comes down to like somebody that can do it all in the draft, like I'm looking at like a Roy Meyer. Like I'm looking for a guy that's like first off, his celly was hilarious. Like, give me that guy. Don't give me the guy that's like everyone's sucking off on IG. Like, even when he had to like cover Brandao 1-on-1, and he didn't nail any of those really over the head checks. Man, it didn't look pretty. So I think that like he's a high risk, high reward type of player. Wouldn't say he's the best cover guy in the draft. If you're looking for an LSM in transition, a guy that can like cause havoc in the wings, like go for it. But I mean, he won't be in the top half of he won't be in the top half of LSMs in the PLL, in my opinion.
I disagree with you. And also this is going to sound like kind of like hater of me. Whenever you're right, like whenever someone like a Pacino that I don't know much about starts getting a lot of hype on Instagram, like my immediate reaction is like, just I'm just skeptical right away. So at first that's what I thought. And then I actually started watched like 5 full Albany games, and the Brandao was bad. But Brandau's also a top attack prospect too. So it's like
right. And he played it. He did. And before you go into it really quick, I would just like to say he did play phenomenal against Virginia.
Yeah, that game was.
I'll give him his flowers. Yeah.
And that, but then other games, I know people talk about competition. I know like my roommate is like he's kind of with you because he was like, I'm gonna watch Jake Pacino film, and then just pulled up the Pacino versus Brandao highlights. He's like, yeah, Pacino's not good. I was like, okay, that's one game. But Pacino, the funny thing about him, he's been playing down low. Like he's been covering like the best attack. So he's been playing like down low most of the year. So I do agree with you. And like, I'm not sure if he is an LSM. He'll in the pro, he'll be guarding, a midfielder coming out of the box. So we'll have to see there. But I have to say, I was skeptical, and the more tape I watch, like the more I realize like how good of an actual defender he is. So that's my take on it.
I think he's like probably the best LSM in transition. I think he might be the best LSM getting ground balls, and he's obviously a pro player. So I don't want to take that away from him, but it does for me. It feels like he's getting Instagram views, and it's not his fault. First off, like he's not asking for this shit. Like he's just playing, but like he's getting Instagram views, and people are just like, should we bump him up into like the top 6? It's like, no, you shouldn't bump him into the top 6 based off just like because he scored a goal against fucking Vermont, and shout out Vermont, but like they get fucking waxed against Maryland in the fucking tournament, like when they get in. So like, I hate to say competition. I'm a club lacrosse player. I'm not like fucking shitting on these guys, but Jesus Christ, like it's not like Vermont's like thumping out to wartime winners.
It's a good point. It's a fair criticism.
And I don't know. It's just like I feel like it's like shout out TLN. I love the guys, but like they're just they're just stroking him. They're just stroking him, and like I don't understand it because just from I cannot see him on. And this is by God, I cannot see him covering like Michael Sowers. Like it just does not do it for me. Like if you and somebody as personally for me, when I look at a defender, I think that if you have to throw a crazy check and you have to rely on crazy checks to cause turnovers, it's a red flag in my book. And I don't think that that's going to translate well from the American East to the fucking PLL against the pros that see the shit all the time.
We'll see. He's pretty calculated when he does it.
Again, I'll eat my words. I'm probably wrong. I am notoriously wrong.
All right. So, here's a question for you. How high would you draft if you're a PLL GM? Where would you take your guy in Roy Meyer? Like, how high does he go?
See, I think that they all should be around the 12 mark. Like I think that's my thing with Pacino. Like I would not draft him with a first round pick. Okay. If he gets drafted in the second round, I think it's fair.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
I'm with you on that.
All right. Wow. All right. Cool. We solved that because I think my anger towards this is like I tried to split hairs and nitpick with Pacino because he's been coming up. I'm like, all right, let me see what he's about. And like, I do think he's really good. I just don't get where this first round chatter is coming from. Like, I do not see him as like coming in and like just being like, well, Michael Earhart retired. Like, we should just get the next Michael Earhart. It's like he's not even close to what Michael Earhart was. Like, he has like exceptional facets to his game as an LSM, but covering out of the box, I don't think is necessarily going to be one at the pro level.
Yeah,
like I think he'll. Yeah, I think it's like I saw. Honestly, I probably just saw like a no-name burner on Twitter that was like, "This is the next Michael Earhart," and I was like, "I'm gonna fucking rip this kid to shreds on the podcast."
Yeah,
but no, he'll definitely be a pro, and he'll like make me eat my words, and I'll like see him at like the Bar Down Lounge, and I'll be like, "I'm sorry, dude, you're really good."
Yeah, I was gonna say it was funny that dude start off. I'm not gonna talk shit on this kid. Listen, dude, I'm not gonna tell you that you're gonna be 100% wrong. All I'm saying is there's gonna be a lot of guys who are gonna remember that clip, and I know you're one to put your hand up when you're wrong. I'm not worried about you being accountable, but yeah, I mean that. You said you weren't gonna tear into him. You tore into him a little bit. I'm not, I agree with you guys. I think he's gonna go in the second, but it was just real funny for you to be like, nah, I'm not gonna tear into him, just to go right in and be like, yeah, no. He's basically said he kind of sucked, but I know you don't think.
No. I said I did, and if anybody really listened, like you'll hear the bad because the bad roars. When I gave the kid fucking flowers. I said he's probably the best transition LSM in the draft. He's probably the best in the middle in the draft, vacuum, and he's nasty at causing turnovers with nasty checks, which I personally think is a red flag for a defender.
Okay, there. I'm not gonna knock you.
Like when it didn't, and you saw it not work. Like it worked against Virginia. So like he played very well. Like, and again, I'm just thinking that pros see these checks. Obviously, they're like they see this coming for like years now. They're not gonna will he get one once in a while for sure, but like I don't think this is gonna be something that he can land all the time. And when it didn't land on Brandao, you kind of saw what happened. He got fucking exposed. There's gonna be better. Brandau's one of the best players in the country. The PLL. So the PLL is a professional lacrosse league. Like there are players 10 times better than Brandao that are going to be able to if Brandao is able to do what he does. So either Bassino becomes. I know Adam was saying he's very calculated. If he becomes even more calculated or whatever, but that's my take on Jake Bassino. I think he's very good at everything. I think that a cover guy out of the box, I'm a little worried about. Sorry,
Bassino's funny because I feel like there's it's two ends of the spectrum. Like everyone either loves him or everyone hates him. And he's probably going to be somewhere in the middle where he's probably not dominating like he is in the American East, but he's still going to make plays. Yes. And going to be a good defender LSM in the PL. But I think it's just funny because everyone I've talked to is he's going to be really good. Or I know you, my roommate, they're, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be wherever he gets drafted, whatever pick, there's just going to be a lot of chatter around it, I think. So, no, I'm excited to see what he does.
That he did not ask for. That's he just wants to play ball. I think that but that's basically what I guess after 6 minutes of rambling, that's where I stand. I just think he's going to be a pro. He's going to play. Is he going to be a 5-time LSM of the year? I don't think so. I don't, but again, I've been wrong. I'll be wrong again. I'll be wrong 100 more times, but let's talk go off defense. Let's talk about the goalies. Now, obviously, the Atlas are sitting there at, is it 4?
5.
5.
Yes. They're sitting there at 5. It's Entenmann, right? We could just, it's Entenmann. Is there any chance it's anybody else?
I think it's Entenmann. There's also we see there's betting odds now for PLL picks. And one of them is, which team will draft Liam Entenmann. I think it was the Atlas at minus 200. So I don't know if that means at 5 or at 10, but I think if you don't take him at 5, there's a chance a team takes him before the Atlas pick next at 10,
I totally agree. And there's a couple teams that you could eye down. I could see somebody trading up for him. Cause the ones that stood out to me is I think Krebs is a really good goalie. For the backup for the Whipsnakes, which could be the future of their team, but how do you kind of miss on a prospect like Entenmann? If you really think that he's I think here's my take on Liam Entenmann. He'll walk into the PLL and day one he'll be a top 3 goalie in the league. I don't think that's a hot take. And honestly, if you want to get hotter, I think he could win goalie of the year 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why you draft a goalie that highly, because I agree with you. He has that upside.
And if we're really going to talk every single year, Dauber's up there, Ward's still up there, obviously Blaze, but and Kincannon just retired for the Atlas. But when you're talking about these teams that have won in the PLL, it's always been because of elite goaltending.
Yeah.
Bernlohr on top of his game, Blaze, Wardo. So I think that if you're the Whipsnakes and Eddie, if you think Bernlohr is retiring soon or something, I don't think it's even absurd to think about him at 3.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not. Come on, I'm starting to make it because I think that exceptional goaltending, everyone thinks you have to get the best player. I think having an exceptional goalie is the most important thing in the league.
Yeah,
more so than a face-off guy, an attackman. You will not win a championship without a good goalie, and you can have a good goalie for the next 15 years.
The thing about Entenmann too, you look at the saves he makes, a lot of them are clean saves, and he's throwing aggressive outlets. That is, in college it's valuable, but in the PLL it's even more valuable.
Yeah,
100%.
He's I think he's in a class of his own. I think that's why Doogs is so high on him. I don't think you're wrong at all, Doogs. I just wonder. I don't know who's gonna. If the Atlas don't take him at 5, I wonder who else would draft him. I don't think he's gonna go at 3. I think it's almost impossible to not have Schellenberger, Kavanaugh, and O'Neal go 1, 2, 3 in some order. So if the Atlas for some reason don't take him at 5, like before the Atlas pick again, do you think any of those teams would take him? Like, I don't see the Cannons taking him under any circumstance with Curse coming up the ranks. I don't know if the Water Dogs would. And then the Archers have Dobson. So, like,
it really just depends. Like, so, like, Bill Tierney is now the coach of the Water Dogs. Like, Ward, I don't know contracts and stuff, but like, at some, like, maybe not in the first round, but like, these teams will take the best goalie in the draft. Like, if you think Ward's got like a year or two left, and like you think that Entenmann's better than DeLuca, like you'll take him. Like Copeland had something with DeLuca. Bill Tierney doesn't have anything with DeLuca. I think DeLuca's really fucking good too. But like that might be personal preference. I think like it's just like also like you don't. It'll be telling. Like if the Chaos draft Entenmann, it'll be like, oh shit, is Blaze like thinking about retiring in like a year or two? Like I'm not saying like I don't know information like that, but like that's what it'll tell us. So like you don't know right now.
Yeah.
I do think this though. If you like just like in the NFL draft, if you think that the Whipsnakes somehow could take Entenmann at 3, would that like force the Atlas to take him at 2?
I would be shocked if that happened.
Do you know what I mean?
I agree with Matt. I think whatever order you want to say, it's O'Neal, Schellenberger, Kavanaugh. Like I've seen mock drafts that have Ajax going to the Whips at 3, just because it's a Maryland guy. The Whips do need some defense. I don't think they should do that, but like Entenmann at 3 would just honestly, if any team besides the Atlas draft Entenmann, I will be pretty shocked.
That's sort of where I am.
I think the only other team I could see like in round 2 is like the Outlaws.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they have a lot of picks too, the Outlaws. So like, why not get a high level goalie?
Now let's talk a little bit. Like obviously, there's some need at midfield for like the Chaos, the Cannons. Who's like for the Chaos, the Cannons? Who do you think is the best fit for them?
Chaos and Cannons. I've been going back and forth between Eric Dobson of Notre Dame and Shane Knobloch of Rutgers. Knobloch's just so fun to watch. If you watch some of his highlights, he's just has incredible shake, can shoot it with both hands. I'm not sure what the better fit for the Chaos are at 4. I've seen a lot of mocks with them taking Knobloch at 4. But if Coach Towers, thinks he can fit into that offense, he's a great prospect. I also think Eric Dobson has looked like a PLL midfielder since his freshman year of college. Like he's 6'4", can shoot it both hands on the run. He's really solid, dodges through contact. So I think those are 2 that are probably first runners. I think Jake Stevens from Syracuse, he showed a lot of I think he had a hat trick against Duke on Friday, I want to say. But he's, a terrific wing player, can kind of do it all. And his comparison's right-handed Zach Courier. So I don't know who wouldn't want that. That's on your
bad.
team.
Yeah, that sounds good, which would be funny because I kind of agree with those are the big 3 for me as well. I think that would be a mistake. I think the Cannons, I would like the Cannons as somebody that roots for their upbringing a little bit. Like I would love to see either Dobson or Stevens on the Cannons. That's who I think. Knobloch's really, really, really fun to watch. I just think that putting Dobson up when you get so much attention attracted to Holman, especially like Asher holding the ball at 5-on-5 and having to draw that second defender. When you have a shooter like Dobson that can draw out that defense, man, and he's I want to talk about a physical specimen. He's right up there. So yeah. And it would be so funny if somehow, some way, Jake Stevens. I mean, the Water Dogs, they're not going to draft. They won't draft a midfielder, right? They are too loaded at midfield.
I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, with how good it's
that's sweet. Right-handed Zachary with left-handed Zachary would be sick.
I don't know how they lose a face-off if that's the case. They're getting every single ground ball off that wing if that's the case. So, I don't know. I think, I mean, honestly, after it's like you said, any combination of those players, in the first round, like if you're a team and you take Jake Stevens, like it's like, okay, like it's not a bad pick at all. Like he's going to be a good player, and Dobson, Knobloch. So excited to see how it shakes out.
Now, I guess that basically covers for the most part the first round. Now, talking about like the second, third, fourth round, who are some players like who's one really good college player that's getting overlooked right now in the draft that can make an immediate impact on day one?
I think I talked a little bit about Woodward. I love Woodward. I'll give you two names. I think Scott Cole from Lehigh is playing really good lacrosse, and I think Garrett Degnan too from Johns Hopkins. I think those are guys like on people's radar, but like because of the talent, like the players we mentioned, like they might go second, third round of the draft, maybe even further. But like those are two like really good offensive players for their team. If you look at Degnan, he's a big lefty. I kind of compared him to your Cannons guy, Matt Campbell. Both lefties can shoot it on the run. Degnan's really good, like off the hitch. Like if you get him, if he's really good at floating the space, and if you hit him with a pass, he's really good at hitch and goes. He can just shoot it right away, hitch and get underneath. He's really good in that. And then Scott Cole's just super athletic, gets to his right hand at will. He's an attackman for Lehigh right now, but I think he'll be a really athletic midfielder coming out of the box. That's where I would put him if I were a PLL coach. So those are two guys I think could be really good. Short stick position, I think Chase Yeager from Virginia with the really cool hair.
Love that guy. He's so good. He's so good, man. That's one of my favorite prospects. He's so good.
And he'll probably be sitting there in the second, third round if you're a team. Like he'll be a starting short safety midi for what, like 5-6 years more.
And it also like once these guys like in the second and third round, like you'll be like, because like it's not like you have like these rounds are that deep or whatever, but like some guy in the third, fourth round, like you'll see on the PLL field, you'll be like, oh, he made like an immediate impact. These guys are really good. Like it's not even like being like, it's not like I got slept on. It's like there's 8 fucking picks in the round. Like if this was like a 20, like you'd probably be a first round pick, buddy. Like, nobody's sleeping on you. They're just really good players.
Adam, I do agree with that. Yes.
Do you think? I know this draft class is deep. Do you think we'll see any surprise D3 guys get their numbers called, or do you think it's not the year for the D3 love? I was looking up and down on your board. I didn't see any. I really only have like one guy I've been thinking about, but I want to see if you have any D3 guys you think who might be getting their name called, or if it's just not their year.
I know Mike Grace was like a guy people were thinking about, but he's doing a graduate from RIT. He's doing a graduate year at Syracuse, so he's off the board. I have seen Andrew Cook from CNU. That he's been a name thrown out. I actually played against him. I went to Washington Lee and played against Andrew Cook almost every single year. So he could be a name I wouldn't be surprised at. Is that the same name?
Yeah. I was looking at Cook. I had a buddy, he put me on his radar a while back, and I'm just watching his point total, and it's just like coming out of the midfield and putting up those kind of points in any division. And CNU doesn't play like a cupcake schedule; they're going to play the best teams. It's a lot of fucking points, and I think he's a big dude. The roster's got him 6'2", 205. I've never played against him, but I'll have boots on the ground watching him play this weekend, so I'll have live to report as Cabrini's playing CNU, so I'll get to see what he's all about. But yeah, just like to know if the D3 guys are getting any love. See if that RIT guy can get in there in the 2025 class.
Yeah. And
you
go.
Sorry. I said I'd just be remiss to say too, Duke, you kind of alluded to it with only 32 picks. Like I think there's 70 players that could be drafted, but obviously they're not because it's 32 picks. I think that's just how deep this draft is. So I think in the fourth rounds, like you're gonna find starters probably, like you were talking about it. Even I think you're gonna find starters, undrafted starters too.
Okay. So going off that, that's exactly what I just sorry to piggyback off that is who's someone that could go undrafted that you think can make an immediate like who is a guy being overlooked that probably won't get drafted that you're like he'll get picked up by a team in training camp and he'll be very, very good.
There are 2 LSMs. I mean, there's a chance they get drafted. Again, like I'm not exactly sure. AJ Mercurio from Denver is just if you look at him, you're like, how good does that guy play? And then Steven Zupicic from
that's my guy. That was the one that I was eyeing down as well. So I think he's very good.
He's so good. Yeah, he's having a great year.
No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. But like you could like if you're the whip snakes and like you want to get like Pacino and then you could just like get a guy that undrafted and like they could just battle it out in camp. Like you don't give a fuck if the undrafted guy's better than like the first round draft pick. It's not like the first round draft pick's like eating up your salary cap like he's like a day one starter for the NFL, like to be an NFL quarterback. Like if the undrafted guy's better than the first round guy, the undrafted guy will play.
Yeah, I think that's.
You don't owe anything.
What was that?
You don't owe anything to your first round picks.
That's true. It's also like it is going to be interesting to see. I mean, yeah, because I think the LSM position is the most deep, but yeah, if like teams are like, I'm not going to take like a Bo Pedersen or another D midi because I want Chase Yeager or like another D midi later in the draft. So. Yeah, but those are 2 guys that I think are just like going to be good LSMs. Like I think they might get drafted. But if they're not, like I bet there's a team, scooping them up right away undrafted.
Yeah, there's some guys like Dyson Williams. Where could you see him get drafted? Where could you see Brandao get drafted? Those are just 2 that I'll throw out there really quick.
I think Brandao has a chance to go as high as 4. I don't see Brandao going past the Outlaws' second round pick, which is at number 9. I just don't know if I'm the Outlaws and you're there and you say you get O'Neal and then Brandao too, that's like 2 really good starting attackmen. He'll probably go before that. Sorry, who was the other player? Kind of just blanked.
Dyson Williams.
Dyson's an intriguing one because it's like I have him a little lower than most because it's like how this guy scores like a bazillion goals a year. Like how could he not be a good PLL attackman? But I think he's all contingent upon like landing spot too. Like for him to be his best, he needs to have that inside role in an offense. In a starting attack role. Like he's not going to bring you much out of the box. I mean, you can, but then like I worry about him in the middle of the field. He's not that athletic. So it kind of for him, it's landing spot. If a team, thinks like he's going to be a starting attackman for them day one, like you draft him a little higher. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that goes for like Cormier too. Obviously he can score a zillion goals, but like he's probably not going to give you a ton out of the box,
I think that it's a Dyson Williams or Peyton Cormier wants success in this league. Andy Towers better ring their phone. It just feels perfect after Clouché's like holding out. Like it just feels so perfect. But Adam, I got 2 more for you. Just quick hitters. Face off. Who's a face off guy that you could see a team needs or team wants? Who needs a face off guy? Who should they be looking at?
I think the 2 top are Luke Weirman from Maryland and Jake Naso from Duke. And, the reason like Weirman had a goal, I don't know if you saw this against Penn State. What was the semifinal? Was that a Thursday, I want to say? Like he took his face-off man, like told Daniel Kelly to get out of the way, lefty attackman, goes to X after face-off win, dodges to his right and scores. So like that is, so valuable. Like he's a goal scorer with the ball and a stick. I think Jake Naso of Duke is the same way. There's a lot of good face-off guys, but I think those 2, because they can score with the ball in their stick, they're kind of like Petey LaSala. Like they'll like dodge like their face that are guarding them, like, they will dodge them. Like they're not just scoring goals off like fast breaks.
My take it like with Weirman is I think he's going to be the most underappreciated pick in the draft. Like he'll come in and I think he's the perfect Fogo for the PLL with like the new rules and everything. Exactly what you alluded to. So I love Weirman. And then just going back to the goalies really quick, is there, I guess goalies and defense, is there like a goalie after Entenmann? Like the 2, 3, 4, somebody like who else could you see getting drafted?
I think a lot of people said Will Mark from Syracuse, and I know he had a rough game against Duke, but he's a good goalie. I love Matt Note from UMass. I think he's an awesome goalie. A lot of clean saves. He's been super dependable in his time there. But again, it's like after Entenmann, I just don't know like where. I think they'll get drafted, those two, but it's just like a matter of where, because I know Matt said it earlier. There's like most teams don't need a goalie, and like I guess I don't know do you draft a goalie to be their backup in 2 years, or do you wait until the fourth round, even when they're undrafted, and then pick up? Because even another guy we haven't even talked about is like Chase Ehrlich.
Yeah.
John Hopkins, like, so I could see a lot of those guys. I mean, they probably won't be drafted in the second, third round, but I think when you plan for the future, fourth round, and then even think about picking one up undrafted. So I like those three.
Well, Adam, thank you for your time breaking down the draft preview. I know that we as lacrosse fans are all very excited for the PLL draft tomorrow. Thank you for taking your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me on. It was great.
Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, and again, guys, we will be having a preview show for the tournament games this weekend. Should be released on Wednesday at some time, or Wednesday or Thursday. And then we will also have a draft reaction, just reaction to the draft that we'll put out. But yeah, it's that time of year, ladies and gentlemen. Very excited. Lacrosse is here. May is here. Adam, we appreciate you. Nest, good luck to Cabrini. Who are they playing? Who they got?
They got CNU. At CNU.
God bless. Cabrini's ending this weekend. Love you guys.
Oh, come on, dude. What the fuck?